our goal is to make a CSS generator similar to what you see right here. So far, we've been messing around and we developed this 4-column, 2-row table with red cells. But we hard-coded these cells in the HTML in order to do some thinking and come up with a plan. We figured out that if we want to have a 4-column table made with our for loop, then we need to come up with some kind of conditional programming so that if the index I equals 0 or 4 or any number equally divisible by 4, then we want the opening tr tag along with the opening and closing td tags. This will begin the row, but we do not want the closing tr tag because we don't want to end the row. We only want to end the row when I equals 3 or 7 or any number such that I plus 1 is equally divisible by 4. Then that will close the row. If neither of these conditions are true, then we only want the opening and closing td tags. These will be cells within the row. So we need to develop some conditional programming that will allow us to do just what we need to do. For that, we are going to use modular division. According to Wikipedia, modular division finds the remainder after division of one number by another number. So, for example, if we divide a number like 5 divided by 2, well, the answer is 2 with a remainder of 1. But in modular division, the result is 1. It is the remainder. Notice that in modular division, we use the percent sign in place of the slash. Okay, we're really not concerned with the actual result. What we are concerned with more is whether or not it is equal to 0. Because we know that if a number divided by another number is equally divisible by that number, then the remainder is 0. So with that logic, we can determine that if after modular division, if the result is 0, then that number is equally divisible by the other number. So for example, if 0 divided by 4 equals 0 and the remainder is 0, then 0 mod 4 is 0. So 0 is equally divisible by 4. But 1 divided by 4 equals 0, but the remainder is 4. So 1 mod 4 does not equal 0. So 1 is not equally divisible by 0. According to this logic, when I equals 0, I mod 4 equals 0, and we want a tr tag and a opening and closing td tag, but not a closing tr tag. This will begin a row. And when I equals 3, then I plus 1 mod 4 equals 0. And we want a td tag and a closing td tag and a closing tr tag, but not an opening tr tag. This will end the row. But when I equals 1, then I mod 4 does not equal 0, and I plus 1 mod 4 does not equal 0. So we only want a td tag, closing and opening td tag, but not a closing nor opening tr tag. This will be a cell within the row. So let's go back to the HTML and delete all this stuff we hard-coded, and then inside the for loop, we'll say if, inside parentheses, if I mod 4 strictly equals 0, then inside curly braces, we're going to add to the color picker with a plus equals, and inside a string, we're going to create a tr tag with the td tags. This is going to begin a row. Okay. We'll give it a style with a background color of $F00. We will change that color, but we need a closing td tag. but we don't want a closing tr tag because we're going to create more columns. So else if I in parentheses I plus 1 modular division 4 equals 0, then inside curly brackets. Now let's go back up here, add this semicolon, and copy all this string, the color picker, and then paste it down here. But we don't want the opening tr tag. So let's take that out. Let's add a closing tr tag. This is going to end the row. Okay, so now if neither of these are true, or in other words else, we're going to paste again the color picker, but this time we're going to take the tr tag out. This is going to be the middle cells. So let's uncomment our color picker out and add the semicolon, then go to the browser, refresh, and now we have our full 4-column table. So now let's give our table cells unique colors for each of our hexadecimal numbers in our array. So let's go back to code. So instead of this F00, let's delete that and break this string up with 2 double quotes and then 2 plus signs. And in those plus signs, we're going to remember our colors brackets I for each one of our indices in the array. Okay, that's going to be our color. But we're going to copy this and then paste it down wherever we have our colors, wherever we have our red color. Do that twice. Now let's save that and refresh. So we're making some progress. Let's go back to the original, look at it. See, we had 16 columns in the original. So let's see if we can make 16 columns. So we have 4 columns. Let's change this 4 to 16. And then down here, change that to 16. Save that and go back and refresh again. And now we have a table with 16 columns. So now let's reposition the color pickers. So in the CSS, we'll get the ID of color picker and set its position absolute, top 15%, and left 2%. We'll save it and then go to the browser and refresh. Now our table, our color picker is repositioned. I want to do one more thing. Let's go to the JavaScript. So we have this concatenated string in 3 different places. We have the pound sign plus our colors brackets I. Now what would happen if we put a space between the pound sign and the double quote? So let's save this and refresh. Now that would be a problem. So there's a better way of writing our JavaScript. Let's go back to the code and let's replace this concatenated string from the pound sign all the way to the other double quote. And let's replace it with double quotes, and inside the double quotes a plus and a plus, and just put in their color. We're going to create this variable in a minute. But first, let's copy this from the double quote to the double quote and replace all the other concatenated strings with our new concatenated string. So what we have is if I modular division 16 equals 0, then we're going to add to the color picker with a plus equals an opening tr tag with the td tag with a style equal to background plus a variable color. And then we're going to concatenate that variable back to a closing td tag, else if I plus 1 modular 16 equals 0, then we're going to just add the TD tag with our style background color plus our variable color, and then we're going to again concatenate a closing TD tag, but this time we're going to have a closing TR tag to end the row. If neither of these conditions are true, then we're just going to have our TD tags with our background color equal to our variable of color. So now let's create the variable color. So inside the for loop, var color, which is singular, equals # plus our array colors, plural, in brackets I, semicolon. Now let's save it and refresh. And there we have it. So let's do one more thing to our for loop. Let's go back to the code. So our logic says that if I plus 1 mod 16 equals 0, then we want a TR tag. But what if this is not true for the last index in our array? We still want a TR tag. The browser is going to compensate for it, but let's don't rely on the browser. Let's add another condition with 2 bars. Let's say I equals length minus 1, but that's a strictly equal. So this way we are assured that the last cell in our table has a closing TR tag. Now let's go back to the finished project to determine what we have to do next. In the next video, let's create this text container and then some functionality so that when we hover over our color palette, we can change the color of our text. So I hope you found this helpful, and let's move on.